Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. A very good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of the World Islamic Economic Forum Foundation and the Ministry of Finance of the Republic of Indonesia, we bid you a warm welcome to the closing session of the 12th WIEF. Ladies and gentlemen, the past 3 days have been filled with remarkable dialogues, eye-opening discussions, and enriching networking session. Above all, it presented us with the priceless opportunity to foster strategic alliances through the exchange of ideas, information, and knowledge between Muslim and non-Muslim communities. Today, the 12th WIEF officially draws to a close. We'd like to invite the Secretary General of the WIEF Foundation, Tan Sri Dato Ahmad Fuzi Haji Abdul Razak, to deliver the 12th WIEF Jakarta Statement. Please.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum. The Honorable Sri Mulyani Indrawati, Minister of Finance of the Republic of Indonesia, the Honorable Tun Musa Hitam, Chairman, WIEF Foundation, Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, I have the honor to read the Jakarta Statement on the 12th WIEF dated 4th August 2016. The 12th World Islamic Economic Forum, with the theme Decentralizing Growth, Empowering Future Business, was held in Jakarta on 2nd to 4th of August 2016. The forum was held in the wake of global economic challenges, geopolitical uncertainties, financial market turbulences, and effects of climate change. The opening session of the 12th WIEF was addressed by the President of Indonesia, Prime Minister of Malaysia, and patron of the WIEF Foundation, leaders from Tajikistan, Guinea, Sri Lanka, and Jordan, special representatives of the governments of South Africa, Cambodia, Qatar, Pakistan, Bangladesh, and Algeria, the Minister of Finance of Indonesia, the President of Islamic Development Bank, and the Chairman of the WIEF. The forum was also attended by 4,080 participants from 73 countries, including 2 former leaders, 12 ministers, 10 vice ministers, leading corporate figures, businesswomen, young entrepreneurs, thought leaders, academia, representatives of the creative arts, and the media. The forum discussed topics relevant to the expansion of the global halal ecosystem, enhancing the inclusiveness of Islamic finance, the improvement of MSME environment, the support of startups, and the development of the creative industry. The forum continued to promote the Islamic economy with emphasis on creativity and innovation through a variety of formats, including panel discussions, master classes, business exchange, idea pad, pitching sessions, linked up, special complementary programs, sponsors programs, country investment programs, an SME exhibition, marketplace of creative arts, and a business networking breakfast. The leaders highlighted that growing inequality continues to defy solutions for inclusive development. Centralized development tends to overlook or even marginalize large sections of society in many countries. The unintended consequence of innovative technology often was the enrichment of a few. The potential of the young population of the developing world has not been effectively utilized. The importance of enhancing media strategy to improve global perception of the Islamic world, investments, and business potentials. Notable recommendations for overcoming these challenges and addressing the issues of decentralization and empowering business include the following: to promote and support an enabling environment, including access to finance, for the development and corporatization of MSMEs, and cooperatives to address job creation, to income generation, and to unlock economic opportunities in rural communities. 2, to harness the use of innovative training to provide youth with modern skills to enhance the economic exchange value, as well as to infuse corporate social responsibility for promoting wider social benefit out of the application of innovative technology. 3, to expand the use of Islamic finance to grow the halal ecosystem, modest fashion industry, infrastructure development, and social finance. 4, to harness the use of disruptive technologies for the wider benefit of a more inclusive society. And 5, to develop strategies to enhance the potential of creative industries to spread economic growth. 11 agreements relating to real estate, medical facility, halal industry, franchise industry, Islamic finance and capital market amounting to USD 899.6 million were exchanged during the forum. The forum recorded its appreciation to His Excellency President Joko Widodo and the government of the Republic of Indonesia for hosting the 12th WIEF in Jakarta and for the warm hospitality accorded to all participants. The forum also acknowledged the contribution and support of members of the International Advisory Panel, partners, sponsors, role players, secretariat, and volunteers. Thank you.
Thank you, Tan Sri. May we now invite Her Excellency Sri Mulyani Indrawati, Minister of Finance of the Republic of Indonesia, to deliver her closing remarks.
Fuzi, saya bukan declare close. Saya tak declare.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. The Honorable Tun Musa Hitam, Chairman of WIEF Foundation, fellow Minister, if you are still here, and some of the colleagues, diplomatic corps, as well as all the representative, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It is really an honor as well as pleasure for me for delivering a closing speech for the 12th World Islamic Economic Forum here in Jakarta. This is the second time for this country to host this World Islamic Economic Forum. As you all know, in the last 3 days, the forum has provided a very good platform, a high-level platform for many prominent global government leaders, a captain of industries, a prominent academic scholars, professional, and most importantly, many innovators and investors that try to use this forum to explore any idea, opportunity, as well as to have a strengthening their network and business partnerships. And this is especially dedicated for all the businessmen and women, which is going to strengthen their business in the Muslim world and with outside the Muslim world. This year, as mentioned earlier, the forum has successfully explored the crucial role of small and medium enterprises. The small and medium enterprises, we call it MSME, especially because it's their critical role, important role in driving not only the economic growth, but mostly in many, many countries is actually also creating a very important job. The theme that is chosen by the organizer is decentralizing growth, empowering future businesses. I think the emphasis of decentralizing growth, meaning that it is not supposed to be concentrated or centralized in one specific place, but it could be enjoyed widely in many different regions and by many other players. So inclusiveness is very important. And the second theme of empowering future business, meaning that we have to look of the trend both on the production, technology side, as well as the changing of the consumers and the demand of the consumers. I think this is the area which is very, very not only interesting, but very potential. This theme reaffirms also the conception of empowering small and medium enterprises, especially through this forum, is creating and facilitating a participation of many mainstream economic players with the new as well as with the small size economic player. It will also hopefully create more idea to spur innovation, improve efficiency, as well as provide enterprises the ability to improve their competitiveness and also to understand better the business landscape. Your deliberation in the last 3 days have touched on various issues with President Joko Widodo highlighted in his opening remark 2 days ago. Among them, he underlined the need for strengthening media strategy, developing technology, education and training, as well as promoting innovation. Many of all those issues has been discussed by all the participants during the past 3 days. As President Joko Widodo also mentioned, that he called from the Muslim leaders to spur innovation that really ensure the well-being and security of the people. All of this is very critical, especially during the opening that we follow many of the leaders telling that the global economic situation, whether you look at it from the political side, the security is actually quite challenging. So empowering as well as strengthening many of the countries which is dominated by the Muslim, it's going to be very critical, not only creating a more confidence of this country, but also to give a showcase that this country can provide job opportunity based on productivity and innovation, which is addressing the many of the root cause of whether this is radicalism or extremism. One aspect which is being discussed also in the past 3 days is, of course, about Islamic finance. The empowering of the Islamic finance and matching between the source of financing with the growing demand, especially in culinary, fashion, art, is going to be very critical. This is the area which is growing very fast, especially here in Indonesia. The creative industry, the potential of many small and medium enterprises in both culinary, fashion, as well as art is actually very, very strong. Many of them cannot access the financing. The potential of Islamic finance enabled to mobilize the saving, then channeling to this productive and innovative work is going to be very, very critical. During the past 3 days, we also witnessed the participants from many different parts of the world getting to know each other, to share their ideas, innovation, perform their best creative works, as well as providing even a platform, and eventually come up with a MOU. So I'm glad to see that there is a signing of MOU between the Indonesian companies in the area of halal hub and halal security and investment, as well as from the country which I saw yesterday, especially from Malaysia. I do hope that this kind of MOU can be expanded to many different other countries, so it will reflect a much more wide participation of this World Islamic Economic Forum with the participation beyond just the very regional specific. The government also used this very tight moment to launch the master plan for the National Sharia Finance Architecture. In this 12th World Islamic Economic Forum, we also provided opportunity for our young entrepreneurs and those who are about to enter the first time in their global industry to have the opportunity to understand the know-how, how to do business, and how to be connected with the business player. I think this is a very good opportunity for many of them. The forum also offered opportunity for a more established Indonesian entities to promote their businesses, not only here in Indonesia, but most importantly to regional and globally, not only to the Islamic community or the Islamic country, but beyond. These are all the evidence that the 12th World Islamic Economic Forum in Jakarta is not only benefiting a few, but hopefully really can benefiting more participants here in Indonesia, but also all over the world. In a more specific, there are in this 3 days discussion, I will identify the 3 takeaways. The first, how we can address the lack of knowledge about Islamic finance product. Seems like we are talking about a lot Islamic finance, but really understanding the product of this financing is still a long way to go. And this is especially true for both the supplier of the financing as well as those who want to have the demand or the want to have the access. And this is especially true for many of what we mentioned, small, medium enterprises in the area which is promoted during this forum. That is culinary, the halal food, as well as the artwork which can be commercially marketed. A lack of ability for financial company to see the long-term prospect of many halal-related businesses is also one of the area which we see as a potentially need to be addressed and could be addressed that will unlock these sorts of financing with those who actually have the business prospect. The second takeaway, and this is actually not only in Islamic financing, but also in beyond, in all countries in the world, including in the Muslim society and countries, the need for infrastructure development is huge. The number can be even $1 trillion. But there is a very classic bottleneck of infrastructure financing. Again, the Islamic financing mechanism can be used and mobilized in order to address this issue. Strengthening long-term infrastructure financing mechanism, including through the asset-backed securities to finance the infrastructure development, is the area which is very critical. A lot of initiative in this area has been done by many policymakers. I think it is about time for the Islamic finance and product can participate in this financing for infrastructure that is becoming a big development issue in many countries. The third takeaway is building better collaboration between grassroots businesses like cloth making and food selling with the mainstream industry that could foster innovation further, eventually also transforming many of small and medium enterprises into a better value-added or high value-added industry of especially Islamic fashion and halal culinary. The growing middle class here, especially in Indonesia, is very obvious. You can see it even from many different cities, but even up to the rural area. The demand for more specific fashion as well as food, which is following their belief, is going to be a big business. think fostering the innovation and linking many of small and medium enterprises with a much more well-established industry will provide a much better, not only in terms of business opportunity, but I think it's more important, an inclusive economic model. On behalf of Government of Indonesia, I would like to congratulate Dato Tun Musa Hitam and his team for this very successful organization of the 12th World Islamic Economic Forum. It is really a pleasure for the Government of Indonesia to be able to partner this event, in hosting this event. And certainly, I would like to use this opportunity to thank and give a high appreciation for the National Organizing Committee, the sponsor, the corporate sponsor, as well as all of you, the participants who's been very, very excited and using this forum, not only in terms of pursuing your interests, but you believe that this kind of forum can provide a good opportunity to have a much more inclusive economic model. For those of you who's coming from abroad, as President Jokowi yesterday invited you, I think not only just going around in Jakarta, but Indonesia is a big country, maybe much easier for you to fly outside Jakarta and enjoy Indonesia. You will see this country, such a very rich, diverse, and can provide you with an insight how the Muslim society and country like Indonesia can provide a very, very good opportunity for people to pursue their belief, to conduct their business, and to engage with many diverse population of Indonesia. This country very proud to be diverse, but we are united as a nation, as a country. Thank you again. I hope you can enjoy the rest of your stay. And of course, please come back here with many more idea and capital so that we can do business with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Your Excellency. This forum would not have been possible without the commitment, dedication, and close cooperation of a remarkable team of individuals, as well as strong support around them. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it is our honor and delighted to invite the Honorable Tun Musa Hitam, Chairman of WIEF Foundation, to express his vote of thanks.
Don't worry, my bringing a glass of water does not mean I'm going to keep it long. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum. Ibu Sri Mulyani Indrawati, Excellencies, guests, distinguished guests, members of the International Advisory Panel of the World Islamic Economic Forum, ladies and gentlemen, for the last 3 or 4 days, you have been in Jakarta. Jakarta, the capital city of this huge country called Indonesia. It happens that I'm made to understand that Indonesia is the 10th largest economy in the world, might change up and down, but nevertheless known to be that way, and that Indonesia is the biggest populated Muslim country, and my punchline is that Indonesia can be considered to be one of the biggest democracies in the world. In spite of that, And after personally, for many years, familiarizing myself with this country, from my very early days as a student leader. Ibu, I'm sure when I was here, you're not born yet. From those days, I have come to be very close as to know Indonesia, a country that was indeed developing, a country which achieved independence, a country that took a long time to develop with all the challenges of being a newly emerging country. So, amongst those who study the progress of Indonesia, there was always the tendency in the earliest days to say, you know, Indonesia is really chaotic, was said. Indonesia is impossible for us to move around. It's difficult merely to move around Indonesia, to put investments here. For quite some time, that perception had been going on and on and on. I'm very happy today to stand before you to say that, if I may say personally, I'm really impressed of what has been achieved within the last few years in the history of Indonesia, in the sense of economic development, in the sense of the delivery of the promises that the government make to the people indeed. This is very important for me to mention, because just visually, I can sense, traveling all over the country, that there is in existence already of a bigger and increasing middle class. That's always a good measurement about whether a country is moving ahead or not. It's the middle class. The lower middle class has entered into the middle class. That middle class is now empowering itself for further development. So we, in the WIEF, are proud that now, this year, with the government relatively fresh in the business of running a government and governing, showing so much determination and able to identify the real needs of this country in order of priority, literally, Ibu. I say this because when we wanted to organize it, we had to sit with the officials, we had to ask, and we had to determine, and you were ready to say, these are the things we want, these are the things we recognize, and these are the things that need to be looked after. And they have realized, it seems we are complimented when they think that through the WIF, all these issues could be looked into, and the potential for collaboration at the international level is something, an offer of which we must realize exists as indicated by the willingness and the wish of the government of Indonesia itself. Our Indonesian friends said, okay, you meet here, we'll welcome you. We identify 5 areas. We talk about infrastructure. They want halal tourism. They want micro and SMEs, modest fashion, and Islamic finance. All these four, infrastructure, halal tourism, micro and SMEs, modest fashion, of course, requires financial backing. And in the old days, when you talk about financial backing, you went to the obvious established ones. But there is now such a thing, which is rising very fast, which take also into consideration the needs of the lower levels of society. That is called Islamic finance through Islamic banking. And you know, I am very happy that we have with us now, as a sort of co-organizer, the Ministry of Finance, represented by Ibu Sri Mulyani. I say this because the last time we had the conference about 5-6 years ago, it was also in Jakarta, and Ibu, you were then already the Minister of Finance, and what I noticed was that every time you went away anywhere, they were all gathering around you, asking all sorts of questions because of your reputation, I'm told, about being that type of minister who really a country like this needed at that time. And I'm sorry, I hope I'm not embarrassing you, but I want to tell you that when you're here, I told you just now, you add prestige to us. You give us the ability to conceptualize the way you have been known to be. And this in itself is a demonstration of the seriousness of which the Indonesian government is conveying the message to us. You know, the uniqueness of the WIEF is this. I repeat again and again to the point of boredom, those who have heard what I've said. We don't really go for the really big ones. We are not interested, we are interested, but not that interested to see big names, big corporations all coming here. That's, oh, you know, in Indonesia, so and so from all the big corporations are there. Oh, that gathering is a success. We don't, simply because we accept the reality and of the need to begin with the Muslim communities over the world, which requires a bottom-up approach. From the bottom, improve it so that we can increase our level of development. As you say here, Indonesia's, nah, tengok. Okay, this is demonstrated by the emphasis given to micro, small, and medium enterprises. The President Widodo had talked to me every time he will mention SMEs. And this morning I'm very happy, the whole day we were committing ourselves to discussing SMEs. The discussion led by Pak Tanri, who's a member of our International Advisory Panel, but in his own self is known in Indonesia. So that is one of the reasons I think that if you look at the presence, the participation of this conference, we started in 2005 with 400 attending the conference. We thought it was a big deal, it was something successful. But look, 12 years later, is 4,000 participants. Congratulations. But what I want to say is simply this, very short while, and that is that 4,000, if you want to rationalize it, if you looked at it, which I did, try to analyze, it's very simple. Many of those small and medium enterprise representatives come here. That increases the figure. They need it, they know it, they come for it. And I'm sure they are going to benefit out of it because of the focus we paid on the issues and the problems that they face in order to move forward. I hope When we talk about small and medium enterprises and micro enterprises in the future, we say, remember the Jakarta meeting, this is what we started, this is what we are doing, etc., etc. Then only can societies like ours, Muslim, developing, really realize the wishes of the people to improve their lot. Ladies and gentlemen, it's always obviously my pleasure when I have the opportunity to speak to the WIEF, especially in this closing ceremony. One of the reasons is the fact that I was a politician. I used to have captive audience. When I talk, everybody listen and everybody clap. I don't have that much opportunity anymore in a begurau way, in a very light-hearted way. I said, here I am. I have such a captive audience. I'm talking my head off. But I hope it is appreciated that we would like to thank the government of Indonesia for co-hosting this WIF. We would like to thank the President. We would like to thank the Ministry of Finance and all your officials who almost daily work with us before, who almost daily work with us during the course of this conference. And I would like to thank also the officials and everybody from the top to the bottom, to all those people who helped clean up the place. They have made it very successful. But of course, I'm the chairman of WIF. We have a secretariat headed by Fuzi, Dato there, and senior staff are here. Even the other staff are all here. They work day and night too, together with their colleagues from Indonesia. I think they'll be very happy if the chairman does not forget to thank them, because believe you me, they also work very hard. Thank you very much. Members of my IAP sit here. Now they're in front here. You want to know them? They're all here from different parts of the world. Have been very active in giving me not only moral support, but also ideas that have resulted in the successful holding of this 12th WIF. At the end of any ceremony like this, each time, the closing, we always announce that the next conference will be here, there, or here, or anywhere. That anxiety, for those who are familiar with us, is now in your heart, in your head. I want to tell you very frankly. Due to unforeseen circumstances and unexpected developments recently, I regret that we are not going to have the next conference in Korea. The Koreans have requested that we postpone this to a future year. They are all even talking about 2018. In the meantime, the Koreans are going to host in November a rather big meeting of ladies, women. You can see who's leading the cheering. That's Dr. Noraisa there. They have invited us to have a gathering of women, a conference women. In November, it will happen. But insofar as the next value is concerned, there is no problem of replacing it, except that I cannot announce it here. You know, in our history recently, we had this sort of problem. I can mention, I think. Issa, I think I can mention. Abu Dhabi invited us. At the last minute, they had to withdraw. We replaced it. The same manner, inshallah. I don't think it's difficult at all for us to have successes. And it's very interesting. In this conference, we have representatives of countries, heads of government, a few of them, and most of them, the first thing the word they have when they meet me is that I want to have it in my country. I sound, Ibu, as though I'm selling pisang goreng by the roadside. Say, come on, everybody, long queue and all that. Not jual begitu, tapi I don't. That is not the idea. That is to tell you that there seems to be attraction by the world, even among non-Muslim countries, to host our conference. Inshallah, when we decide on it, we will make it known to you all. And still, we are looking forward to see you coming to future conferences, or at least encourage others at the future conferences. To the young, to the women who have played an important role in this conference, also having concentration on their interests, like in Mocha Fest, I thank you all very much. Ladies and gentlemen, let me now declare this 12th World Islamic Conference closed. I thank you.
Thank you, the Honorable Tun. Please step up to the front as we now invite to join Her Excellency and also Tan Sri Dato Ahmad Fuzi for a group closing photo to carve this moment into a memory of a lifetime. Please step up to the front. Let's give our very big applause to the Secretary General, to the Chairman of WEF Foundation, and to the Minister of Finance of the Republic of Indonesia. Thank you. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, on that note, on behalf of the World Islamic Economic Forum Foundation and the Minister of Finance of the Republic of Indonesia, thank you for being part of the 12th World Islamic Economic Forum, themed Decentralizing Growth, Empowering Future Business. We'd like to invite our esteemed guests and all members of media to adjourn to the networking lunch at the Exhibition Hall B. Thank you all for making this year's forum an interesting and memorable one. We look forward to meeting you at the next WIEF. Terima kasih, salam sejahtera. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you. For members of the media, may we invite you to the conference room for the closing press conference right after this photo session. Once again, may we remind you, for members of the media, we are inviting you to the conference room for the closing statement of the 12th World Islamic Economic Forum right after this group photo session. Thank you. Let's give our applause once again. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen.